Good afternoon, this is Simon from Prestige Garden Services, currently on site in Otley, and we're with a wonderful client which has, well, they've kindly asked me to basically plant up flowers in a border which isn't that big, and it's against a particular property, against a fencing wall. So I'm actually going to spin this camera around and talk you through what we're actually doing here. Currently speaking, we've selected a range of beautiful flowers, and I'll actually go through the flowers very shortly, but just talk to you about the actual positioning of them. We're at the moment in a beautiful area, corner plot, which is protected nicely by some silver birches and also a neighbouring fence, which clearly obviously protects from wind. We're in a valley, so obviously conscious of weather elements and obviously the harshness of the elements, and so obviously selected certain particular plants which are quite hardy. With that also, I'm looking obviously at the garden plants that we've selected from the nursery, and each individual one is in its own house at the moment, own home. And so my first particular concern is that of placing it into the ground, and with that, as you can see, the colour at the moment of the soil, which I've basically laid. And we've done a little bit of a concoction here, a bit of a mix, a bit of a cocktail. I've used some quality all-purpose Miracle Grow with some topsoil, and we've put this in and we've mixed it in, so we've got I know we've got a really good base to start with, full of nutrients, vitamins, and some really good food in there. You'll also come across some of these little fellas here in the actual in the compost, which is basically slow releasing pellets. If I squeeze that, you'll see it pops, and it's got some good food source in there, so that just works in. Now what we've got here is some really nice, beautiful Sweet Williams here, some lovely pink kisses, some really gorgeous chrysanthemums, some lovely dahlias, some lovely lilies, orientals here from, I think they're called St Andrews, and petulas, and effectively speaking, at the back some Euonymus fortunei, and it kind of runs through with this particular here with some more chrysanthemums, and again some wonderful lilies that are yet to actually flourish and blossom. And that kind of maps out the kind of this set that I'm looking to try and to achieve. As you can see, as we go through the actual border, I've kind of tried to keep it all very symmetrical. They obviously will spread out, and certainly a thought that I do have is when you're buying particular things from garden centres, you can see that they're in the house already. You can see the different coloration of the soil, and if I just grab a handful of that, you can see that it's really quality. That's actually peat, so it's really rich in nutrients and vitamins. And just from a horticultural point of view, I can already see a new sprout, a new leaf popping through here, which I know the rootstock's really healthily, in very good health condition. I do have a thought, and it can be completed, where you can actually take a pot and split the actual rootstock in half, so you're spreading effectively a lot of these lilies already. I could cut this up into 4 and plant them differently than what is house. So that's particularly where nurseries effectively generate more from one pot. They can obviously really work on being resourceful and being cost effective. But this is obviously a small area. It's only 8 to 10 meters worth of growth, of bed, and obviously I'm going to allow this to grow, because each individual flower that I'm going to plant is probably going to grow in height around 10 to 15, 20 centimeters in height. In addition to that, very hardy, and they will obviously last all year round, some of them, and by obviously just simply nipping the dead heads off, it'll produce much more growth and be longer lasting. Last and not least is effectively temperatures, and these will last probably up to 0 to 5 degrees Celsius through to the winter, and so you've got a really good cover of some quality bedding plants to go into a very small area. Beautiful, colourful, very eye-catching and very pretty. So we're going to get these in the ground, and hopefully then send a picture over later on in regards to what this looks like once it's in the bed. But my advice and suggestions from a gardening point of view is, obviously when we're doing this and planting up, make sure the bed has got really good vitamins, nutrients, and a really good chance for a new home and a new house. This is Simon from Prestige Garden Services. Wish you a good afternoon. If you are looking for planting, any suggestions and ideas, please get in touch. Have a nice afternoon.